Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. It is the 28th Friday, last day of the month, so we're going to get some end-of-month flows, and, you know, it's been a pretty interesting week after Jackson Hole yesterday. Let's look at the charts. Oh my gosh, there's a gnat in here. I am killing that later. Okay. So, what the heck? How did it get so tiny? It shouldn't be so tiny. That's no good. Okay. So, come in here into the E-mini. Initial reaction off of Mr. Powell's, Chairman Powell's comments was positive. It had a hard time staying up there. So quite a bit later, several hours later, we dipped down and we actually went below the initial move. So it looks to me that the people that were buying off of that initial move had to dump. But once they dumped, then we were able to come back up. Bullish price movement. As always, just always buying it into the close. Now, overnight, we had a significant move up, and I don't really know what the impetus was for that, other than that the Dow index was hitting new highs, or going positive on the year. I think that was maybe what caused that stop run. But then later in the session, we had Prime Minister Abe of Japan is going to be resigning, which was it was very sad. Health not doing so well. So, now the treasuries yesterday, quite counterintuitively moved down. So I believe that the treasuries decided that what he was saying wasn't a huge deal, and decided that we were too high. Overnight they've retraced that a little bit. And again, it's end of month flow, so that's really hard. I mean, usually it's positive at the end of the month, so it's you're gonna have to cover and buy there on that one. Oil took a dive yesterday overall with the treasuries. Kind of retraced a significant portion of that and is going flat at the moment. Gold tried to take off, but couldn't really do it. Overnight, they've been buying it, though. Still, I'd have to say gold has been disappointing lately. We'll see if they're able to pull something out today. And then copper. Copper is doing a little bit better today. Copper's doing a little bit better today. Wasn't doing so well yesterday, but then all of this growth comes in, and they're pushing us back above the 3. So that's, I mean, I keep watching copper. Copper is a big decider. Okay, dollar index. Want to point out also, dollar index moved around a ton. Actually strengthened through the move, but then overnight just got creamed. And I think that again has well, I don't know. I don't think that was all Abe, but yeah. I guess the U.S. investors weren't so concerned about what the Federal Reserve said, but maybe some of the foreign investors are. Okay, so we can get some news here, and I really want to pay attention to this personal income number. We're looking for a reading of negative spot 2. So here it's going to come in here. TweetDeck wants me to sign in. That sucks. Okay. I'm not. Okay, so GDP The U.S. numbers haven't come out. A goods trades balance negative 79.32. Okay, personal spending is 1.9, which is higher. Okay. That's not a huge change, and the market's not reacting to it, but I think that we could continue to move up. Okay, so not a lot of reaction off of that piece of news. Curious that the 6J is up. I thought that should go down off of the Abe thing, but yeah, not a lot. That I'm really surprised. I thought, there's a good number of news events that would move us. We do have consumer expectations later today, but I really thought that like this stuff. Well, what was the core PCE price index was spot 3 versus spot 5. That's also good. That means the inflation's not coming in, and the Federal Reserve can keep interest rates low forever. When one of the major banks, I think it was Bank of America, was doing an analysis about the average inflation rate, and they were saying that based on the amount of inflation that we've actually been getting and so forth, that with average inflation adjusting, there is a scenario where we wouldn't raise interest rates for 42 years. Can you believe that? That would be the case where there's just the inflation just doesn't come. I think that if they went 10 years without raising interest rates, that somebody would say, maybe we need to change something. Don't you think? But it was still just really interesting, I guess. So I'm just thinking about this. Oh, hold on. We got some comments. I gotta address some of you guys' comments. Oh.
Trader Josh says FYI, I can't stay on long, but I signed up for Financial Juice and they will allow you to take advantage of the $700 by splitting the payments up. Just email them.
It's coming up soon, so I would take advantage. Mm, well, the Bank of England Governor Bailey will be headlining today and will be at the top of the hour, much like Powell was yesterday. So that's important. Also, we do have Chicago PMI after the market opens. Remember, that's the one that always gets released to subscribers early. And then we get Michigan consumer sentiment. I don't know if there's anything else. I think Fed's Harker is talking right now. I'm hearing them say stuff about him. The labor market's recovery is moving sideways, and we won't get fully back to pre-crisis levels for quite a while, says Fed's Harker. Yes. So there's something that I think I missed that I think is really important, and that is that through this recovery, we have had a supply side recovery, but not a demand side recovery. So when we had the pandemic, both the supply side and the demand
Ace
side
Trade says morning.
had issues, but we have supply siders in office.
Ace
So
Trade says should be on bears.
should be on bears, yeah. I don't know. I took it long there off of the news. Doesn't look so good for me at the moment though. Overall, the market is just kind of yawning at that news. Do you think they're going to have to come back a little bit? I don't know. Personal savings rate dropped from 19.2% to 17.8%, still more than double pre-crisis levels, says Zero Hedge. See, so there's this issue, which is like we're giving people all of this stimulus. They're not using it to stimulate. It's not creating demand, right? They're saving it. They're putting it all into the stock market. You're putting it all into the stock market, and how is the market going to continue this if consumption is decreasing, you know? Well, they want me, apparently. And that's okay. Might just be wrong on that one because, I mean, there was really no reaction to the news. U.S. consumer spending report here is showing some consumer spending. Harker says his toleration for inflation is somewhere north of 3%. Whoa. Okay. Maybe that's not a whoa.
Ace Trade
I
says
wish.
time to make the waffles. Check in later.
Okay,
Have a
I'll
good
check you
session.
later, Ace. I would not speak with you later. Hmm. Mr. Harker is saying that targeting the overall. I'm seeing it here on Twitter. Fed's new monetary policy is more about targeting the velocity of inflation and not just the overall level. I guess he's saying that if the inflation picked up too quickly, they would raise rates. Okay. And it also sounds to me like the thing that I was interested in this report isn't actually being shown. U.S. consumer spending likely rose in July as the labor market continued to add jobs, although economists cautioned that last month's expiration of the $600 in enhanced weekly unemployment benefits could dent household spending ahead. So, if we're going to see an impact from the unemployment benefit not being extended, we're not going to see it until the reports next month, is I guess what they're saying. So that's kind of where I'm starting to see why the market would be yawning at the numbers that we just had. Bloomberg Japanese equities and the yen shook Friday on news that Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is resigning, but economists said his departure is unlikely to trigger changes in Bank of Japan policy. So they had a bit of a move down. They kind of hovering around here.
Ernie G says, "Good afternoon, sir."
Good afternoon, Ernie. That's a new name. Welcome. Oh, there's something I need to check, by the way. You just reminded me. Nope, apparently not. Apparently not yet. I have something really exciting to share with you guys, but it's not ready. Oh, no, wait, it is ready. It is ready. Yes. Okay, hold on. So can I just turn it on now?
Uzi Knesset says, "Did you bake U.S. muffins?"
U.S. muffins. What?
Yuri says, "Japan have big part from us treasury." JB says, "Good morning."
Hey, JB, how are you? Oh, jeez. All channel members, I see. Done. Have to make a video about it? Can I just say not now? I just want it up. Well, let's make a video. Okay, so YouTube has made channel memberships available to us. So that gives us a couple of cool things. The first thing is that well, so if you subscribe, I can give you all kinds of perks. So one of the things is that I can create YouTube posts and videos that only members can see, which is super great. And we can also connect it with Discord. Um, but also the thing that I think will be fun is that members get special stickers and stuff that they can put in the chat. That will be like super fun. And I'm also working on doing some stuff with indicators. And I think what we can do is we can tie the indicators to the channel. It'll take a little bit of time to get that because I'm still getting that from the Ninja Trader guys. But basically, we can make it so that if you're subscribed, then you would get the indicators. So, but we have to make a YouTube. We have to make a YouTube video first. So I think what we're going to do is I'm just going to make a really quick video here, like while we're doing this. All right, and then we'll be able to put it up because apparently you have to make the YouTube video first. So let's try this. We come to here. I'm going to turn off the text-to-speech reader here for a moment. Hey guys, so I have finally gained access to YouTube member subscriptions, which means that you can subscribe for a monthly fee to this channel and get some extra perks. One of the first perks is that when we're in the live stream, that you'll get special emojis and badges. So that will be fun, but we can also post content that only members can see. And I think in the future, we're going to have some things like some Ninja Trader indicators that are tied to your membership. I'm setting up a member only area of the Discord. And, you know, what other kind of perks that you guys would like to have. But the first thing right now is I just want you guys to get access to those emojis. So making this video so that we can take the membership stuff live. I really appreciate it. Also, I'm going to be posting the Bitcoin charts on there. So if you're subscribed to the Patreon already, I would recommend just unsubscribing from the Patreon and subscribing through YouTube because I will be posting those charts every day as well. So thank you guys very much. I will see you when I'm live streaming in the meantime. Stay profitable, friends. Think that was okay? Stickers motivating the world for dentists, office, school teachers, and trading rooms, right? Oh, they want me. That want me so bad. I'm just so surprised that the market is this dead. Probably should have gotten out like here or here. There was a point where I could have gotten out here. But alas. Videos. Okay, so here's the video I just made. Announce your memberships. Upload unlisted video. Channel memberships now available. Very cool. We'll monetize this video. Off. Next. Save. %, processed. There's that gnat. It's a little fast. You see this guy here? You see this robot moving his order around at $34.98? That's interesting. It's actually not a huge lot. Why is there a 98? That's interesting. Okay. Finished processing. So now I come back over here. Oh, I created the video. It's unlisted. Now it's on. So now I can turn it on. Join button. Turn on. Your channel is now offering channel memberships of you. Awesome. Now let's just check here. Come over here. And now watch with the live stream. The way that you guys. Oh, yes. Okay, cool, guys. So, check it out. If you join. Hold on. If you click this join button and then you join for $5 a month, you will get access to these emoji. And the more people that we have join up, the more emojis that we'll be able to add. So right now you can do a bull and a bear emoji, and we got an emoji for Chairman Powell, and we got an emoji for Trump. And if there's emojis that you guys would like, obviously we'll add them. And you get loyalty badges too. I think we can make those loyalty badges better, but we only get 32 pixels, so I'm still figuring out what we're going to do there. But it's cool. So let's see if I can post. I think that I should be able to post the custom emojis, right? Yes. Oh, yeah. Check it out. Am I not allowed? There we go. How does she read that out?
Speculator Seth Day Trading says, _SPS Bull, _SPS Bear, _SPS Powell, _SPS Trump.
Okay, so we're going to have to change our text to speech to account for that, huh? Why, that's cool. Can make a better video about the channel memberships so that we can put it up on Monday. Okay, so we're gonna get Bailey here. I don't think I'm going to turn on the video like we did last time, but gotcha. I'm gonna go throw him away. Be right back. Okay, so if that works, then I should be able to come over here into Discord and set up that integration now, right? I might have to like refresh it or something. Connections. Oh, how do I? Okay, cool. Allow. Okay. Server settings. Integrations. YouTube. Enable. Oh, I give you guys a 7 days grace period with if you don't subscribe right away. Okay. Seth, can you pay $5.99 a month to watch this channel? Yikes! Right. Well, no, we're gonna provide stuff. So the main thing is that I'm going to. Well, I mean, it'll kind of be up to you. But here's a couple of things I think we can do. A first thing is that I don't need Patreon anymore, so that's kind of nice. Is that I can, because I don't feel like you want to go and you think about visiting Patreon every day to see my new Patreon post. I just don't think that you guys do that. But you do visit YouTube every day. So if you're subscribed, then you would get my Bitcoin charts when we can post those every day, and that would be the first thing that's really nice. And then the next thing is I'm creating right now. What should we create? Well, they call it YouTube member, but what should we call it? We should call it subscriber. Subscriber. Save changes. Subscriber. Okay. Save changes. Cool. So we'll make a subscriber. I'm making a subscriber section of Discord right now. The cool thing is the YouTube gives you like the emojis and things like that. Maybe we want to give you a lower tier, I guess. Probably what we should do is we should have a lower tier that's like just the emojis, right? For whatever for $1. I guess maybe we can do that. I don't know how it works. I have to look into it more. I just did like the default, like let's just get it working and see what we've got first. Top of the hour. I want to take this again. I'm gonna try. Okay, so let's see if I can create this like member section. Create channel. No. Create category. By making a category private, all locked channels within it will inherit permissions. Okay. And you have to be subscriber. I think. Cool. Subscriber chat. Cool. All right. So anyways, we can add a lot of things to it. I can make some of the indicators that I've been holding back on you guys for that. I mean, the main thing is I I want to keep myself focused on the trading aspect of things, you know? And I just don't have as much time to do a lot of the things that I think would help you guys out more. You know what I mean? But the better that we're doing on all of that, the more time that I would be able to dedicate to that. If I could do this, if I could get the YouTube um, bringing in some more revenue, then we could potentially in the future create YouTube content full time. And then I would be able to do a lot more programming and creating new innovations to help us trading and um, provide better information, aggregating more information for you guys, right? So that's kind of the reason I want to do it. Sucks that I didn't get 94. They may yet still go back to 3491, but now let's see here. What's this? Oh, this is spam. Remove. Hmm. Now, I guess the other thing that I should be thinking about with that is that I don't think that people should be subscribing to me because they think that that's going to give them some sort of an edge. Although I certainly would be trying to do everything that I can to provide some value back to you. So don't want $5 or $10, or we make other tiers. Shouldn't just be a donation. You should be getting something back for it. But I think that I want people to be doing it because they like me and they want to support the channel, not necessarily because they think that that's going to get edge. I think it should be more like um, you support the channel, and then because you support the channel, you get something back from it. You know what I mean? So apparently, well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think you need two subscribers to get more emojis. I think that I will wait until I have some of these other perks like fully up and going before I make like a big video and a big push for it. How should I do this? Okay, I think that works. So the other question is, I wonder, well, I don't know. I wonder if you subscribe, if it will give you, if it will tell us here in the channel. Hmm. Baby doesn't sound too happy today. Looks like oil is taking off right now. Yeah, a little bit of dollar strength coming in. And we still got these weird orders dinking around in the mic in the E-mini. He's a little far away now though. I don't know why it's not showing me more. Hmm. It used to give me more than that. More the Ninja Dom would show me more levels than that because I can see more levels than that in Ninja Trader. But for some reason, it's only showing me down to there. Maybe it's a thing like um, I gotta turn on momentum test. Let's see here. How do I do it? I know there's a property for this. Center. Outliers.
Vlad Stolyarov says if we go up 0.6% today, I would look for shorts.
Well,
Vlad Stolyarov says on S.
I would think that they would want to end the month, today. I think they would want to end the week strong. This is technically not the last trading day of the month, but it is for a lot of practical
Vlad
purposes.
Stolyarov says monthly projections are above.
Yeah.
Vlad Stolyarov says big trendline that always rejects. Live action says at Gary Rich cold sweat smile open mouth smile cold sweat smile rolling on the floor laughing rolling on the floor laughing rolling on the floor laughing tears of joy.
Hmm. You can laugh, but I'm gonna make it worth your while, guys. Y'all, it's gonna be like you're not gonna be subscribed, and you're gonna feel so left out because the other people that are subscribed will be having so much more fun than you. We'll get it there. Oh, another thing that I would like to do is I'm thinking about doing like a weekly um thinking about doing like a weekly um game plan sort of session on Sundays. So, or certain like one-off things where you guys can come into Discord chat and we can speak over voice chat. So I might make that. So I think what I'm gonna do is we'll do that, and that will be a subscriber perk as well. So we'll make it. I'll make it so it's public, but only the subscribers can chat with me. So I think that would be fun too. And then I'll let you guys get on, and it can either be a Q&A or you can just say whatever the heck you want. There's quite a bit going. Like I'm hearing a lot coming over the squawk about Bank of England's governor, Bailey, but this kind of looks like it just might not do anything until the open.
Live action says Seth, as you know, I've been reviewing TT, and though it's lightning fast on trade execution, the difference is milliseconds.
Yeah. Well, on the executions. The thing, I've said this a trillion, we've talked about this a trillion times before, right? But the thing that I notice in TT is that the level 2 updates kind of come in, it's not as chunky. You don't get, bloop, 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 bloop. It's kind of more like, that's the only difference I can notice. But it doesn't appear to me to be a difference that is significant to your trading. The execution is lightning fast. But have you tried live action? Have you tried like creating your own order types and things like that? That's what I think is really cool. Is you can go in there and you can say, I'm going to put an order here, and if the level 2 does a certain thing, then it's going to enter in. So of course you could do like a volume. You could do a volume stop like we do in Jigsaw, where you say if the number of lots on there gets below a certain number, then hit into it, But you can use TT and program it to do whatever you want. So, for instance, I could make it so that if it goes to 0 and actually goes, like let's say that if 06 half went to 0 and actually went bid, but then it went offer again, then I would put an offer on or something like that, That would be a useful order. Yeah. And you could do that with TT. That's where I think it's powerful. And the auto spreader, of course. Auto spreader is something else. Well, I'll tell you what, market's way too quiet. So we won't know who is going to be replacing Shinzo until the 15th, when his party holds a leadership election. Reminder, Taiwan lifting U.S. beef pork import restrictions, an important start for economic cooperation. Okay.
Ernie G says, do you know if is there an innate option in Ninja Trader to have a trailing SL?
I believe that there is. Although I've never used that before. But I think that if I come in here...
Gary Rich says, Seth, don't you have automatic orders ready to fill with no confirmation, just instant execution?
What do you mean? Well, I mean, if I click somewhere, it will automatically place it, and it's pretty intuitive on the DOM. But there are certain algorithmic situations that I can't necessarily do that within, at least not within Jigsaw. I could set up some of that stuff in NinjaTrader, but I don't think that it would be quite as good or as flexible as it is in Trading Technologies.
Live Action says, a curious thing, maybe it's because it is sim the inside trades did not match to the tape by a large amount. Also, I noticed IE 100 offered, but 500 would trade on the tape.
Oh, really? That's so funny. Oh, when I did it, the first 2 weeks was real market data. Are you using the delayed one, though? It's like you get the live one, and then after the 2 weeks, then it's delayed. Okay, so I need... oh, here it is. So if you open up the Super DOM in NinjaTrader, and you come into ATM strategies, and you can make a custom ATM strategy, and then you could make this... let's see here, an auto trail, for instance, right?
Gary Rich says, no orders you have set, where it has trailing stops, or fixed stops and instant fills, only one click needed.
Yeah, you
Live
can
action says
do
no
some of
delay.
that. Anyways, that's how you do it in NinjaTrader, okay? Because you go and you set up a custom ATM strategy. In Jigsaw, your options are, first of all, you get this thing that comes over here, right? And you can set a stop volume amount. I don't know why I don't have one set. I want it to be like 37, let's say. Okay, so if I came in and said
Live
stop
action
limit,
says I only use OCO.
then if there was less than 37 orders there, it would stop into that. Okay. But then there is also the strategy manager, and I could come in and you can set up a bunch of different. Let's do like for instance, this one is like here. I have everything stops out at 12 ticks, but then there's a target at 10 and there's a target at 24. And I can set whether their one order cancels the other. And how do I add it as? Oh, here we go. Stop trail, and then you can set it at. You can tell it to trail a certain amount as well. I don't use the trailing stops because I find that trailing stop almost always gives me less than if I just manage it myself. But that's your choices in Jigsaw, right? But that's why I was saying like a particular setup that I can imagine is when it's trading back and forth like that. If it goes bid and then it goes offer again, and I want to click in and I want to try and get on the queue then at that point, um, you could probably program that in NinjaTrader, but it would be a little difficult. But the things that I've seen from Mr. Patrick, um, in the screenshots and stuff that he's posted, setting up things like that is relatively easy in trading technology. In the X Trader or whatever they call it now.
Ernie G says thank you kindly.
Yep. The bullish narrative of aggressive retail call buying driving markets higher conceals an important market dynamic of decreasing liquidity and increasing mismatch between buyers and sellers as option volatility selling strategies like call overriding retreat in the aftermath of poor
Live action says
performance.
I would think it would be dangerous using preset range tools because when scalping too many things will cause it to fail.
Well, I don't know what you mean by preset range tools, but
Gary Rich says Seth when VIX gets to 18 to 12 handles, it's gonna be very difficult to scalp S when it only moves 10 PTS.
you mean like in a whole day? You're probably right. Well, I mean, when I don't know about that, Gary. Like when the volatility was lower before the financial crisis, we had things that were working pretty okay. I am totally okay with being, it being in an environment where um maybe even 2 points is a lot. So that's okay. In fact, at least what we've seen from it so far, the technical side of my edge probably will work even better in that environment. I just would have to not be in like totally wrong trades like the one I did earlier. I really should have cut that one off. When it didn't start going after a minute, I probably should have cut that one off. I thought that the news supported a little bit of buying into the E-mini, but it did not work out that way. You have to wait for an imbalance of some sort to show up, which might not be for it. Or the Chicago PMI number.
Anthony K says hi guys.
Hi, Anthony. How are you? That's a really weird algorithm thing that's going on there. I don't know what he's doing. He'll have an order and he'll move it. He moved it.
Live Action says Seth, another curious thing, TT would show a block and another platform would show same size but broken up.
Well, that might just have to do with what, like for instance in Jigsaw, that would depend largely on what you've got the reset interval time to. And I don't know if TT does market by order date or not. They might.
Live Action says reset interval.
Yeah. So like Jigsaw doesn't the only way that it detects the clear trades timer interval is what really lets you see the icebergs. That's how they're detecting it essentially. Oh. Trading Technologies does support market by order. Hum. Curious. Oh, that one was so close. Didn't fill. They were hitting into it, but they didn't fill. We'll cancel that. Okay. Hmm. Well, I think that's it for that one. Yeah. Let's work that out. How this possible during the pandemic? No idea. Talking about how the personal income and the personal spending was up month over month. Oh, shit. Hmm.
Live Action says one thing besides the speed TT tape was amazing, made trading so much easier.
Really? TT tape? Oh, is that just their reconstructed tape, whatever?
Live Action says time and sales.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Jigsaw has a great time in sales. I don't find it that useful. It bothers me when it's not there, but I don't like explicitly look at it a lot. Hmm. So we're down, but it's been net buying on the cumulative delta at least. I see a lot of buying in this.
Live action says on the floor many pay the fee to be able to follow the big orders. TT covers that very well.
Well, I mean, I can see the big orders in Jigsaw. I don't think it's that huge of a deal.
Ask Our
No,
Money Machine
treasuries
says, hi
seem to
mate,
be
how many
going.
indicators you using that you built by yourself?
Oh man. 1, 2, 3. 3 main ones I'm using at the moment. One of them is really technically like 4 indicators built into one else. Oh, 5 because there's the market depth tape. I'm using that. Market depth tape, really important.
Ask Our Money Machine says the indicator in the middle is it Jigsaw?
In the middle, what do you mean? Well, it's been a really tight battle
Live action
here.
says Seth, it's not the same as seeing multiple blocks individually post.
I don't understand what the difference is. You're going to have to be a little bit more descriptive about what you're talking about. What is it? What is it doing differently? Okay. 1 minute. Okay, so the number has been released. I am seeing some buy-in here, but Still pretty slow going. Perhaps that means that the number is going to be roughly in line with expectations, 52.
Live action says I've always used the tape and had difficulty with footprints. Perhaps it's just the way my mind makes sense of order flow since I've done it this way every day for 15 years.
I really have no clue what you're talking about. Live action. Hmm. Okay.
MISS's says hi.
Hi, welcome back. Every day now.
Live action says I think I am better able to granulate what's happening with the tape.
Okay, so it's actually just a little bit under this forecast. Now, now they're ready to break on the upside. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's still pretty difficult action. I don't see the cumulative delta dropping, but they're going down. I do see there are more shorts being added from the market makers than there are buys. And what buys there were, there appears to be maybe they took profits. Okay. Not sure what that was.
Live action says Seth, I see you don't use volume profile as areas of support or resistance. What do you use it for?
I want to know where there's been a lot of trade in the past. You're right. I don't really care where support and resistance is. I think that the idea of support and resistance is ultimately not that useful because I don't care about where the support and resistance is. I care about when it's going to break, you know? And I mean, if there is a support or resistance level because of the volume profile or whatever, that might be a thing, but then I kind of just read that as, everybody's going to know that. So there again, like I'd be more interested in a support or resistance area that is going to matter, but not everybody knows about. You know what I mean? I remember early on, especially over in the 10-year, a lot of people talking about, oh, you shouldn't have bought there because of the volume profile. And so I spent a time period where I just paid attention to that a ton, and it didn't make a difference. I suppose I could get rid of it, but I do look at that number. Like the fact that about 8,000 or so has been trading there at 34.8975 since the open is really significant to me. Thing though is that we're not really moving away from it either way yet.
Plan B4 Trade says don't think there is a wrong or right, whatever works for you. For me, volume profile, it's the only thing I sue.
I guess to really convince me to take something like that more seriously, you would have to show me some statistics of some sort, which are a
Plan
lot
B4
harder
Trade
to.
says pardon, I use.
Gotcha. Yeah. But statistics are a lot harder to do on volume profile kinds of stuff because you're talking about a much. Oh, you know what? I think that the window is open or something. Why is there another gnat? I don't know if I can peel myself away from this. No. We were cleaning windows yesterday, and maybe it was just when it was open, some got in or something. So that was the second gnat that was in here. There he is. I did get him. I mean, I will give. I assume the reason you're saying that is because there's definitely a profile here, right? I think that in this case, that I got the lower end of that edge there was probably just luck. Okay.
Live action says curious discussion about VP. When I look at correlated markets simultaneously, one will turn at VPOC, one will turn at high of balance, etc. You get the picture.
Hmm. Well, there's kind of some odd things that go on there in the treasuries. I would have to look at other more correlated markets to really comment on that. Hmm. Okay, so got about 5 minutes to the consumer sentiment. That might be why we're seeing some buying now.
Live action says how I correct this is I will look at Globex spread and will set tone for day sometimes.
Hmm.
Vlad Stolyarov says UVXY was rising this whole move down.
Hmm.
Vlad Stolyarov says I still think they got a chance to try higher prices today. Vlad Stolyarov says on
I do
SPY.
too. I think that what we're seeing at the moment may be just positioning ahead of the um, consumer sentiment number. It looks that their
Vlad
positioning is
Stolyarov says but
slightly
maybe momentum
bullish.
is stalling here.
It looks like that they're maybe bullish. I see a lot of technical trading going on here as well. Like there's definitely some pattern action going on here, which I'm always like super skeptical about. Like I'm much more interested when those lose. And you can't really see it from the volume profile so much anymore, but you got like a little range here and then a smaller range here. Let's do that over so that it looks smaller. There's a smaller range here. So what they're doing is they're going something like that. And now at the moment, right in the middle, you can see. So that's, to me, is like people drawing lines and, leaning with them. Maybe momentum is stalling here. It doesn't. I mean, what momentum? You know what I mean? There hasn't really been any kind of serious momentum since the open. Well, I guess there was a little bit of a short panic for a bit.
Vlad Stolyarov says yeah, which way? Vlad Stolyarov says momentum.
I switched this histogram down here to be 40 levels instead of everything. And this one is 10 levels. And I find the differences between them incredibly interesting. I mean, I don't know if it tells me anything. It honestly, it looks like mostly noise. But it's still incredibly interesting.
Vlad Stolyarov says maybe news 10 a.m.
Yep. Got 10 seconds here. The higher end of the estimates for this was 74, so. Okay, so it was on the high end of the estimates at 74. 74 spot 1 versus the overall, what do we call it? The average estimate 72 spot 8. So it was better than expected news. It was better than expected. Does appear moving up.
Vlad Stolyarov says AAPL has a big tail already.
A big tail? So they moved quite a bit off of that news? Even though the index is still kind of just chugging along?
Vlad Stolyarov says on 15 minutes.
Hmm.
Vlad Stolyarov says from under 500.
Oh, wait. Hold up. The inflation expectations previous was 3%, and this time it's 3.1.
Vlad Stolyarov says I don't know if they move anywhere now. I thought only they can go on 350 SPY and this was pre-trap for shorts if market is still trying upside.
I don't know what the deal is. They kind of just got sucked back into the vortex. I'm wondering if the reason this is frustrating us is because of end of month rebalancing, and we just don't understand how to take advantage of that. Or Seth doesn't, at least. Well, that was a pretty good up move for a moment. Is that can continue up? Oh boy.
Vlad Stolyarov says that NQ is a wild beast.
So I'm seeing an interesting scenario set up here. I don't know if they're going to go for that open or not.
Live Action says have to run, have construction crew arriving. Think about what I said about Globix spread. It's a good tip.
Okay. But if they go for that open, the high is really close, so you would think that they would go for that, right? Well, there's a lot of stops up there. There's a lot of stops up there. Clicking here now. Test.
MISS says American fishing vessels spooked as Russian nuclear submarine surfaces near Alaska.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. That's interesting. Why do you think treasuries continue to move up?
Vlad Stolyarov says casinos rallying. It must be casino day.
Sometimes I think that if there's one place where I would like to read an article and it's behind the paywall that drives me crazy more than anything, it's the Financial Times.
Vlad Stolyarov says volatility ISNT dipping down.
Hmm. I mean, there was an up, now there's a down. It's not.
MISS says Chicago PMI 51.2, EXP 52.6. But thanks to 8, no data matters anymore.
Yeah, that's what they posted. I would have responded to that one. I was like, well, they did kind of like when that news came out, it didn't really do anything. And then it was like here, and then it kind of came down and didn't do anything. Then when it actually came
MISS
out,
says well they were somewhat flat to selling
yeah.
between the early release and when the wider market got it. Overall though this is the tightest action I've seen in a while.
Then when they actually came to the broader market, they came down to here, and then it was like, okay, that's done now. They moved up because it was like they didn't care. Now the one that I find more interesting is that the consumer sentiment number was okay. But I didn't seem to care about that one either. But I suppose that it being so, you got to remember Monday is like the 31st, right? But a lot of these instruments that when they roll over and things like that, they do so on the last Friday of the month. So for a lot of intents and purposes, today is the last trading day of the month. um, Makes sense. So uh, you're probably getting a lot of end of month flows, and I suppose that might be leading to some of the selling as people taking profits. I don't know. There does seem to be a big short position on right now, though. Hmm. Backing away from that one. Not quite making it back up there, though.
Vlad Stolyarov says I am scared to short when I think everyone else is trying to guess when to short.
Well, somebody's short, for probably. My estimate shows, at least. This is so tight. I don't know how accurate this is going to be in this situation, but it suggests that on for passive orders there are more short than long by almost double. Hmm. There was one thing that I saw in the flow a while ago too. I don't know if it was around the PMI or the consumer sentiment. I don't remember anymore. But there was one point where there was a sweep down of like 4 points, and then it reversed and went higher by a significant amount. And I think that was after that was when we hit the high of this area at 93. But overall, this one doesn't look. It doesn't look like I have a whole lot of edge here
Live
anymore,
action
does it?
says at CLAD Stolyarov don't be this guy.
Fact.
Sunday Driver says riots everywhere. Only Joe Biden and Kamala Harris can save us.
Right. Did you see that video where Kamala Harris was saying, "Oh, they're not going to stop. They shouldn't stop. They're not going to stop after the election." It's like, maybe like don't encourage rioting.
Vlad Stolyarov says at live action that's what I usually look like when position goes against me.
Well,
Vlad Stolyarov says UVXY parabolic lol.
can always turn around and try a short.
Vlad Stolyarov says a little extreme for Friday.
Yeah. Especially for like an ultra ETF like that, because people don't want to stay in those for very long. Hmm. Clicky, clicky, clicky. Looks like they're going to go for it. Not a lot of stops on it, which is kind of what we predicted. There's a lot more shorts to stop out than there are longs.
MISS's says exchanges network cool. MISS's says do you use that data?
I don't know. I'm not sure what you're talking about. So I guess no.
MISS's says Perez 199, NYSE American, BATS, ACA, IEX, and regional exchanges network cool.
The only data that I get is the rhythmic market data, CME, all CME markets, top of the book.
RJ Wheel says funny live action.
Zero Head just tweeting the Minution picture again. I'm sure at some point they're going to turn the money printer on and it's going to just do what it does every day and go up to the high of the day. But for now that was 20,000 at 34.90. So considering, yeah, I'll try it one more time.
Mike Salisbury says only 2 ticks test below first 5 meters at 6:30. Yay, surprised not
Yeah.
much stopping activity there. Interesting to hear your indicator is saying passive majority is short.
Yeah. It almost, well,
Vlad Stolyarov says 3,488 plus maybe their stops.
we've all been in that situation where we expected something big to happen when a certain price was crossed and then it didn't happen. And you're like, I guess there just wasn't enough people wrong on that one for anything to happen. And then you're disappointed. And now we have something that
Vlad Stolyarov says it was too obvious.
has a good probability of predicting that kind of action. Here's the thing, though. The number of positions on it's not very high, right? We did way higher yesterday. Like in yesterday, we're usually between 5,000 and 10,000, and today they haven't been able to get over 3,000. How is that when we had a good 20K trade at 34.90? Up in this part of the profile, you add all that together, it's way over 20K. How do you do that? Well, they were all just leaning in there. That's what it looks like. The man shot by a Secret Service officer outside the White House earlier this month was holding a black comb and suffers from mental illness, court documents say. What the heck? So they shoot this guy and he just had a comb. It's not funny, but man.
Mike Salisbury says hey man, a comb can be used a weapon too.
Milwaukee Bucks and 5 other basketball teams decided not to play their scheduled NBA playoff games in protest of police shooting Jacob Blake earlier this week. Do Americans support or oppose this decision? And 57% said they supported it, and 28% said they oppose it. Now, I, for myself, was not entirely sure if it was just about Jacob Blake or if it was the whole Kenosha shooting and everything altogether. But I kind of felt that given what had happened that day, that not having the games was maybe appropriate.
Sunday Driver says Jacob Blake had it coming.
So I guess I'm not surprised that America has 57% supporting the teams not playing that day. But Nate Silver is saying, I don't mean to be too flip here. I think it's appropriate to say there are a lot of uncertain factors in the race, including the protests, but many predictions about the impact of the protests were wrong back in May and June. It is better to wait for public opinion data this time around. Here's a result that Kenosha will help Trump win, pundits may be surprised by. This NBA did it. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, I think that one makes sense that it would go that way, and I don't think that it would really tell you a whole lot, if anything at all, about how the larger thing is going to go. There's already 70 comments on that one.
RJ Wheel says had it coming once, not 7 times.
Seven times. I don't want to say
Brad
that
Stolyarov
people
says
have it
I like
coming.
how they push AAPL to move market.
That's very not.
Sunday Driver says it should have been one in the head.
What is this? Is just not very respectful when a man died. Okay, but were the police justified in shooting him? Did the police do the correct thing by shooting him? Yes, they did. He was reaching for a weapon. They believed he was reaching for a weapon. There was a weapon in the area he was
RJ
reaching.
Wheel says he didn't die, Seth.
Yeah, sorry, I guess he didn't die, but paralyzed. Regardless, the police did the correct thing. And I'd say the more interesting one is Kyle, right? And in that one, I think that Kenosha Kyle here also was justified. He was acting in self-defense. In all the counts they charged him yesterday, I think that they will get him on illegal possession of a deadly weapon because he's 17. But other than that, the other charges that they're charging him with, there's not going to stick. No jury's gonna, no way. You just show the video. Guy walking around in the crowd, egging people on to shoot him, getting in their face, so on and so forth, and then he's chasing
Sunday Driver
Kyle.
says Kyle was justified. Should not have put himself in that position, but he was right to defend himself.
Mike Salisbury says the first guy he shot in the head had attacked him. The
Yeah.
hit guy.
Yeah. Was the guy, a bald man, red beard, red shirt with a pocket on it in those videos, the first guy that got shot, yeah. He was attacking him. You'll go and you look at the video. Now, the thing is we don't have video of when it like started, which is why were they chasing Kyle? I'm not so sure about that one. Why were they chasing Kyle? But I don't think it matters. So I think there's an argument that I've been seeing from the left. Okay, so the people that are from the left are saying he went there, he had the gun, that proves intent, that his intent was to go to that area and murder a person that day or something of that nature, which you cannot prove. Because that would be mind reading. But News Squawk is. Anyways, But let's just say, for the sake, like, here's where I can go in and we can go, okay, let's just give the protester the best case argument that he has, right? Let's say that Kyle was insulting the guy in the red shirt and was egging him on and saying, I'm going to shoot you, you have it coming, yada, 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 yada. Okay? And maybe even like he threw a punch at the guy or something like that. All right? Then Kyle was running away, which means he retreated. They're in any state, even in a state that does not have stand your ground laws, the fact that Kyle was running away from the man gives him 100% legal coverage, basically in every instance or case, right? So because you could sit down and say, okay, if they were standing there and then Kyle punched him and then the other guy brought a gun out and then Kyle brought his gun out and shot the guy, then that could be considered murder because he was assaulting the other man first, and that's a commission of a crime. And then if you're in the middle of a crime, you can't claim self-defense. Well, because Kyle was running away, he can claim self-defense. You could say, well, he had a gun that he wasn't supposed to, but I don't think that negates your self-defense claim. But that's the bigger thing is like it's going to go before a jury. Do you really think that the jury is going to see this kid be chased around, watch all the video, and then say, oh, he wasn't defending? He was committing first-degree murder? There is no chance. But the prosecution probably knows this. They're overcharging him. They're overcharging him because of the public pressure. You overcharge him, and then, I think in this instance they probably can't even plea him out. So you just overcharge him, you go for it, and then he'll lose, and you just say, well, we tried, but the fascists won. That's what's happening. Man, so they were making a pretty good bounce there, and now it's come back. This thing can't seem to catch a break. They're waiting for me to leave before they turn the money printer on is what's happening. I'm not going to read that one.
Sunday Driver says, why does the Antifa mob chase or attack anybody? Because they feel like it.
Well, all of these guys had criminal pasts, including Kyle. Although Kyle's was kind of more like, your typical teenage criminal mischief kind of stuff. Okay, but now this
Sunday Driver says the bald guy threw a Molotov cocktail at him and chased him down and tried to take his gun.
That's false. The bald guy threw something at Kyle, but it was not a Molotov. It appears to have been a plastic bag with, we're not sure, but it may be a plastic bottle or something like that. He was too young to be involved, just a child with a gun and a med kit. I don't know. I feel like that a 16 or 17-year-old should be. Listen, just if this happened in Utah, this is where I start to think that this is where I get into like a lot of the arguments I see people making are just a little bit crazy. Okay, like if this happened in Utah, it would be perfectly legal for him to be holding a gun, I believe. So then that changes it. So in Utah, he is allowed to defend himself, but in Kenosha, he's not because he wasn't legally carrying a gun. But then in Kenosha, let's say that you're a little kid and you're home alone and some burglars come in and try to kill you. And then you go and you find your parents' gun and use it to defend yourself. Would you be murdering then at that point? No, that's ridiculous, right? So the fact that he was too young is irrelevant to whether or not it was self defense. Get what I mean? But no, the bald guy did not throw a Molotov. But here's the other interesting thing: is New York Times took a look at it, and they said, "Oh, we looked at it for we watched hours of footage, and we got everything there." And they even have some good videos where they have like the different angles with the people with like squares around them, so you can really zoom in on what you're supposed to be looking at and stuff. And there was a shot before Kyle. Kyle wasn't the first person to shoot. There was somebody else way behind the guy in the red shirt, with a pistol of some sort. And it's unclear, like, if he was actually shooting it at Kyle or not, but you can see a flash and you can hear the gunshot. Yeah. Going for it again. Well, I am kind of taking shots in the dark now at this point, but let's watch it for a second and maybe we'll flip it. One night I took the one off of the PMI news. It was one contract. That one I did it on my Sirius account, but then the rest of them have just been experiments. Oh, here's the Gamma, the Marketeer posting about Gamma. We should watch. $340. $34.10 actually. $3,500. I'm gonna keep this one on a tight leash, but I can see 73 below us. Hmm. Okay. very well. Hmm. Damn it. I am not happy about that. So shorts really covered there, though, by the way.
Mike Salisbury says yes, agreed. Mike Salisbury says I saw the video of Kyle being interviewed when he was standing in front of a building explaining his role there. He was too young to be involved, just a child, with a gun and med
Oh,
kit.
that's right. We read that one.
Sunday driver says I'm happy. Sunday driver says I moved out of the downtown where there were BLM and Antifa riots. I'm not in a quiet part of the city. And my toilet flushes no matter how big my dookie.
Gosh, dude. Okay. Guess Herbalife is getting hit today by China.
RJ Wheel says Sunday for you it's about BM not BLM.
Biden's looters and murderers. I gotta tell you, I was hoping that somebody here in chat would be really pro Kyle should be tried for murder.
MISS says how do I get that lock?
I really was, because I just
Sunday driver says lol.
don't get it. I've been saying on my Facebook feed, like, you guys that think that he was murdering are like crazy. You're clearly, your politics are clouding your vision, because how do you watch that video and see and not see that it was self-defense? Like, he was running away. In every instance, he did everything that he could to run away. Like, that guy, he was like right here. He waited until the guy was like right here before he shot him, until he was going to touch him. This was a kid that he was a police cadet and he had been trained around guns all his life. He knew the laws and he made sure he was extra cautious that what he was doing was self-defense. Like, it's obvious. Well, it's not obvious if you don't know the things, and I'm not an expert on it, but I know a few things about how it works, and I've read a lot about the law yesterday, and
Sunday driver
it
says
seems
a lot
to me
of people,
he was
I
trained.
think, we're glad to see someone use proper force against Antifa.
Well, that's probably true too. Which is why I suspect that they're so upset about it. You know what I mean? Hmm. Looks like this is already settled from Bloomberg. A hearing Friday, federal prosecutors said they had reached a deferred prosecution agreement with Herbalife relating to one count of conspiracy to
Gary
violate
Rich
the U.S.
says
Foreign
Cesar has
Corrupt
spoken.
Practices Act.
Thumbs down. Throw them to the lions.
And Zero Hedge tweets, Robinhood by the effing dippers will have this green by end of day. Yeah, can you imagine if Herbalife was positive today after the news that they're bribing China? But that's exactly the sort of thing this market would do.
MISS says Herbalife from 2007 to 2016 provided corrupt benefits to Chinese officials, including those with government agencies and media outlets, to increase its business in that country. MISS says so just like every other U.S. company operating in China?
Maybe you're right, me. Oh, man.
Plan B4 Trade says at MISS's that's was really good.
That was pretty funny, dude. You have a really good point there, man. A lot of, I mean,
Gary Rich says oh you didn't know. All Chinese-made products secretly had COVID bat powder in it.
there's a lot of shady things you can do over there in China and get away with in terms of bribery. Like, but the thing is the fact that they got prosecuted for it, says that, like, what they must have done must have been really overt and bad, huh? Or rather, that they're, like, that would be a good reason to sell Herbalife, is that they're incompetent at bribing people, right?
Sunday Driver says I wish everyone would stop buying cameras capable of live streaming.
Right?
The prices are through the roof, and are hard to find. Expect Canon and Sony to have good sales.
Yeah, you know what? When you were looking at what was it, the 6100 or whatever? I think the 6100 is the full frame one. That is probably right on for a streaming camera, one of the best you can get. But yeah, it's like trying to find stuff right now is ridiculous. I was just looking for a microphone for my camera to try and record outside, and I had a hard time
Sunday
finding a
Driver
good
says
one.
yes, 6100.
Yeah, the 6100 is the base level, but a full frame sensor. It would be better than the camera that I have, because the larger sensor means that you would be able to get a better field of view and you wouldn't need as much light. Well, that's fine. Ooh, it's really going now. I'm seeing a lot of chasing on this thing, guys. A lot of chasing. Look at how quickly that turned back.
Sunday Driver says my microphone is excellent. The Bayer Dynamics M201TG is a great microphone, but it doesn't get the same word of mouth press as the others. So, I could find it hard to do the same with cameras.
Yeah, I like to just look at the Craigslist every day and see what people put up, and there's a good deal, get it.
Gary Rich says we have the same bribery in America. It's called campaign donations. Pay to play quid pro quo.
Oh, still got a bit of time, so we'll try another one. Nope.
Sunday Driver says gold is screaming. Pro-inflation policies of Fed will help gold for some time.
I wouldn't say it's screaming. It's doing pretty good today. But it was really kind of bizarre how it sold yesterday, wasn't it? I think that a lot of the short-term traders that were really thought that speech was going to be more significant than it was. I don't think that the average inflation targeting is really a huge departure from what they were already doing. See, this getting filled on the bid is like impossible.
Gary Rich says Seth, I rec you watch this docu. The Fed is doing this exact thing Japan did in the 90s. The old players are in it, Bob Rubin, etc.
Okay, this is besides the point.
Plan B4 Trade says average inflation is lingo for, we are not looking at inflation.
Sunday Driver says USD index is down. US dollar hegemony, likely coming to an end.
I think that you guys are all just have your mind on this like one thing, and you can only see that one thing. And at the moment, that one thing doesn't matter. The moment, it's not relevant, guys. If that's what you're trading off of, like, it's not a key driver of money flows today. It's just not. There was people speculating ahead of the thing. They came in, they
Gary
said
Rich
what it
says don't just
was.
scoff it off, or diminish my suggestion.
Well,
It
maybe it
matters and
isn't
is really
important.
important.
I think that we all understand, though, that what the Federal Reserve has been doing creates low inflation and that you get stuck in a cycle. The Federal Reserve acknowledges the Chairman Powell acknowledged it yesterday.
MISS says my last message.
You know what I mean? We all know that. I'm just saying average inflation targeting.
Plan B4 Trade
Not a
says
change.
many have foretold the demise of USD. Not going to happen.
I feel really frustrated here.
PRT1 says Chairman POWWW.
Sunday driver says it won't happen. Until it does.
Yeah, well, that's true. But I think that we'll have a much clearer idea that it's about to happen when it's getting to that point. Right now, it's not anything. It's not going to happen tomorrow, right?
Gary Rich says it's not about inflation, it's about price fixing, and making them the balance sheet of last resort.
Well, they've certainly become the balance sheet of last resort. You're true. It's true. And it's not only is it true, but it's a real problem.
Plan B4 Trade says fair point at Sunday driver. MISS says initial margin on December 5 years futures ticker ZFZ20 is $715 per contract. 1 tick on 5 years futures equals $31.25 per contract. 8.5 ticks equals $265.625. $265 per 715 equals 37% return on capital. That's $7,400. MISS says the easiest way to a better life. Make more easy $.
Yeah, but you don't want to size up your whole account. You don't want to be using your
Sunday
all your
driver says
margin
Gary is
available.
right. At what point does the entire weight on the Fed become too much?
I don't know. Nobody knows. See. Sorry. I'm just like really frustrated that I can't get a single one to go. I mean, I know that I've been going along and all that, but this is just kind of becoming really frustrating. I think that I should just even the sim trades, even though they're sim trades, that I should just stop because I'm getting really frustrated. Anyways, I don't think that it has so much to do with the amount, to be honest. I think that a really big component of it is the lack of an alternative. You know what I mean? Like the Federal Reserve can get away with it because there's literally no other choice to keep the financial system going. And as long as that's the situation, you know, I suppose they could do it indefinitely. And the only thing that would stop it is if it somehow became politically untenable. You know what I mean? Because who's going to fight them? Who's going to fight the Fed? That's like the whole thing. I think that the Fed is more likely to change their policy than it is for things to fall apart. Hmm. Why is it chopping like this? Am I just going crazy, guys?
PRT1 says choppy chop.
Right?
Sunday Driver says you are correct. Using philosophical analysis, you can conclude that the rest of the world will cooperate with that for only so long. Certainly, not forever. Then, what?
Wrong. Who's gonna do it? Sorry, we've gone into this one before, but we've never really resolved it, have we? Who? Iran? Who gives a fuck what Iran thinks? China? Okay, you want to align yourself with China or Russia? Go along with it. The whole rest of the Western world, they're all doing it too!
PRT1 says China.
Sunday
Who would
Driver
do
says
it?
fear that the collapse will take everyone down with us is likely the only motivator preventing our adversaries from flushing it.
You know? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Who's gonna stop them? New low, pulls back, still really choppy.
Sunday Driver says I think it will be a world where there is no single reserve currency.
Well, I think that you could get a situation where the dollar is not as powerful as it was before, but is still top dog, and that a lot of other currencies matter more, sure. And that wouldn't even necessarily be a bad thing either, would it? We're going to get, Canadian budget balance here.
PRT1 says no Dutch thing. PRT1 says such.
The thing that's frustrating me right now.
Sunday Driver says it would be enough to make global demand for US dollars drop like a rock. Markets overshoot. USD would drop more than you think.
I mean, the whole thing here is that the dollar can drop a ton from here before I really care. Like, let the dollar be worth
Gary Rich
let the
says
dollar
a central
index
bank
be
digital
40.
currency will likely be the alternative. When who knows? Until then, just be prepared for financial repression policies. Catch my drift.
The thing that I'm frustrated about right now is that the action is seemingly random, but the performance of my entries is certainly not.
MISS says HLF is now down just 3%. Will probably close green.
And I have taken
Gary
both
Rich
shorts
says
and
sorry
longs.
repression.
Cannot get any of them
says
to go my
FBI
way.
and Tesla thwart $4 million Bitcoin ransomware plot.
What the hell? That's a weird story. Anyways, why can't I get one to go my way? What am I doing? So what? It's so incredibly frustrating. If it goes to 40, then you'd see massive inflation. No, you wouldn't. It would just be where it was like in 2010. I mean, come on. Do we see massive inflation then? No. Like, let's face it. The dollar is overvalued because of deflation. And if we actually got back to like a reason, like a normal currency action, how is that a bad thing? Well, I think that I just need to take a step back for a little bit. We still got 30 minutes, right, that we can talk. I'm not mad at you guys. I'm just feeling like acting out a little bit, that's all. Is that okay? If you're offended or whatever, it's okay. We can like tone it down. I'll be right back. Okay. Okay. That makes me feel a little bit better. You see a print around 7133 April 2008. Maybe you're right. Maybe I meant to say 70. What I was saying is it would have to be below, like it would have to hit like 10-year low for me to be concerned. Let's put it that way, right? S&P almost read only a stock split can save us now, said Zero Hedge. It bounced really hard there. I don't know. This one is actually performing better than the other ones so far. Maybe Minution came through.
MISS says are all Swiss banks just glorified money laundering centers for third world oligarchy?
I don't think so.
Gary Rich says I guess Chairman Mao, oh sorry Powell really moved these markets after his speech. LMAO.
Has he? I mean, we were at 34.75, right? No, we were at 34. Yeah, 34.75. My memory is correct. So the thing that's so interesting though is that they had that big move up and then it dropped, and now the equity markets are like been pretty bullish, but today it hasn't been. They haven't really been too bullish. But maybe that's just because they haven't flipped the switch yet.
Plan B4 trade says not MISS's. If you want to laundry money, you go to London or NY. To hide money, you go to Switzerland.
Yeah. I don't think that you launder it, you just hide it.
Vlad Stolyarov says went down tested support no one really participating in big selling.
Yeah. Well, I continue to see that there's not a lot of positions on, and that whatever positions are being taken on were probably taken profits on both ways. So like, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with this thing today.
MISS's says grin.
It's doing some things that I haven't seen before, basically. So I'm not quite sure what to make of it. It might just be
Octavius C
noise.
says you need to roll bonds to deck.
I will on Monday. Today there's plenty of volume there. Well, I don't know. They're testing that upside there too, and I don't look all that interested in that either. I guess the E-mini is just done for the week and they don't want to trade anything. That's probably makes more sense, doesn't it? I really thought that they were going to end the week high. You know, that they were strong. They're going to end the
Vlad
week
Stolyarov
strong.
says y'all gave up.
And I thought that they were going to really push it to the gamma where the 3500
MISS's
was.
says ha 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 at plan 4 trade.
But so far that hasn't been
Vlad
the case.
Stolyarov says NQ is more active.
Now, one thing is that I am seeing possibly the first real positive turn.
MISS's says ha 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 at plan B4 trade.
It's still super tepid, but there's a chance that they really could turn measurably bullish. Like my ATR stop thing is
Ace
never
Trades
turned
says let's get you
green.
2 points on the S.
I don't know if that means anything, but I don't know, Ace. I've been trying to get something, and it's just hasn't been cooperating. And I haven't been able to get. Well, I had one that went 4 points actually, but it came back pretty quickly.
Ace Trades says go long 3,488.25 when it hits again.
I'm already in a position.
Gary Rich says have a great weekend.
Thank you, Gary. Before you go, I feel like I'm an asshole today. So sometimes I'm just an asshole, and I hope that you find it entertaining. But I don't mean anything personally against any of you guys, okay?
MISS's says S&P almost red. Only a stock split can save us now.
Yeah, that was zero hedge. That was funny because when they said that, there was a pretty good bounce in the E-mini. But then it went down and it made another new low. But this is the first time that we've had a higher high off of this. So who knows? Who knows what it's going to do? And they were coming above the buyer's cost basis, so it could do something. But I don't really see an indication. I don't see a clear indication of accumulation or anything. So I don't know if it's actually going to turn super bullish. Well, 88.25 did get touched again, but look, they're coming back down. Hmm. Well, there was a potential short there at 87, but the way that they're reacting, I don't think it makes that one um, playable.
Ace Trades says I didn't get filled.
You didn't get filled?
Ace Trades says here we go.
Hmm.
MISS says minus 260 FY. Vlad Stolyarov says do the opposite of what you think is going to happen in Martingale. Vlad Stolyarov says it will eventually be a winner.
Was it? Oh, because it's been bad. Sorry, I didn't realize I was on the wrong screen. No, it's been bad. Those ones I had some sim trades where I tried
Ace Trades
averaging
says
in a
lol,
position.
old Martingale, just add till your
Yeah.
account is blown.
So something that I will do
Vlad
on the sim
Stolyarov
account
says it works in Chop.
Yeah, is I will I'll add up to 4 contracts.
Ace Trades says there was a point.
If I really feel strongly that there's still some potential in it. So I did. I don't know why I did that now looking back, because it doesn't look like I still feel like that there's this chance that that the money, they're going to do what they've done every other day this week and just flip the switch on, and it's just going to go up the rest of the day.
MISS says good weekend, guys.
That's what I've been playing. So it didn't work out. But those were sim trades, and it's a Friday, and so I did those a couple of times, and that didn't work out. So then I was like, okay, I'm done. So then I went back down to 1 and just started taking really short ones. So you can see, since I kind of reset, I'm down 20.
Says I bought the S&P 500. Target is 3,492.
I see the possibility, if the buying really turned on, that we could get to 35, above 3,500. Let's be more general with it. But I don't know if I got it. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's looking okay so far. Let's fix that. Ugh. I did some heavy back squats and cleans yesterday in my workout, and my back is feeling it today. Things feel a little out of whack. Which one was this? 35. Okay. How come that one doesn't show? No. That's weird. 49.50. It's a pivot. I was looking at a pivot, and there was a place where it was so wild that it pivoted up and then down, and that's when I was really, really getting frustrated, huh?
Vlad Stolyarov says win went parabolic.
Hmm. Well, I was able to get 2 points. So did you end up taking that one, Ace? Oh, I guess you were taking it from the
Vlad
88.
Stolyarov says no. Vlad Stolyarov says MGM had news about layoffs. Ace Trades says my target is at 2, hasn't been breached.
Gotcha. I've kind of been looking for like
Ace Trades says should have taken the 1. Lol.
yeah. They've done this like turn some money printer
Ace
on
Trades
sort of a
says it's
thing.
still got some room. Give it a little time.
I'm not seeing a ton of like cumulative delta position changes on my indicators really moving, but the price movement itself is consistent with that behavior. So if we were to make another leg up, then we probably could start to argue that maybe somebody turned on the money printer. Because you can see it's like, I guess if you get in the middle, it'll chop you around a little bit, but it's not really testing on the bottom side at all. Okay, so they did beat out that last.
Ace Trades
that
says there
weird
we go.
pivot.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks. Doesn't make up for an overall frustrating day, but it's okay. It's a Friday. I always kind of expect to do poorly on Friday, man. That's why
PRT1 says
it's
bananas
almost
have been
always
closing 225 store.
it's almost always sim accounts on Fridays. Unless there's really something significant I believe in. Oh wow, are we actually that close to the open price? Really?
Vlad Stolyarov says NQ is a beast.
Well, I remember I was saying that there's probably a lot of stops up at the high. There's still a possibility of that, but I'm not seeing anything super strong.
Says S&P 500 reached 3,492. Vlad Stolyarov says Friday dip buying don't look like much and then they rally them.
It'd be really curious to see if we hit the high of the day, if there's a lot of stops or not. Wow, that's MGM. That's a quarter of their workforce.
PRT1 says I agree, no reason to not go ATH.
I really think that because of the gamma, they have some significant incentive to try and push it up to 3,500. You know? Well, we should go check here. What would be like reasonable targets today? Thing is, we have been underperforming volatility by a wide margin lately, so I don't know if we can really. So up above us would be 35.20. Yeah, that does sound a little excessive. So let's say that 3520 is the high end of the range that we could see at the top. Well, we got about 5 minutes. Someone's pointing out to me that there's like a regular session VWAP up here. Or extended session VWAP? Is that the extended session VWAP?
Vlad Stolyarov says UVXY dropped -4% from that rally lull. Vlad Stolyarov says right on 11 a.m. reversal.
It is interesting that this time around they didn't really do the counter trend period type thing, did they? I wonder what the VIX, do any of you guys know what the VIX is at now? Did they drop below 2550? Oh, you know what? I can look it up. I can pull up Fidelity. Oh my gosh, I was so frustrated with Fidelity yesterday. I wanted to find out about IPOs. So I go to their IPO page. Oh, what kind of IPOs do they got coming out? And it has nothing
Ace Trades says
scheduled.
VIX is great for chest colds.
So
Vlad
I'm like,
Stolyarov says my counter trend time is 11 a.m. so it's fine. It dropped a lot. 25.28 VIX. Vlad Stolyarov
anyways,
says people think UVXY is an investment. They get the bag again.
I was like, does this calendar even work? Like, come on, guys. Okay, so it did come below 2550. Oh, it's down at the lows of the day in the VIX. So they are turning game on. So I hear that, well, not here. There's news out that Sumo Logic is doing an IPO. And I don't know if it's a good buy or not or anything like that, but I want to know because I think they have a great product. I use their product, and that is like the one thing at work that like works and works well. I think that they might have a bright future. I guess it probably depends a lot on what their financials look like, but they're doing an IPO. I'm interested, but like Fidelity didn't have really any information about, so I'm like, so I won't really know if they're gonna, until it happens, and then maybe they'll sell all the shares. Like, how do I get in on it? I'd have to buy it the first day probably. In which case it probably would end up having to chase it. That'd be frustrating. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if that'd be wise. So they did cross down here, but that's a little tepidish. I should, though, since we moved up, I should manage this to there.
Vlad Stolyarov says just do opposite of logic and short the rally anyway with Martingale.
Yeah. You know what? I'll do that. I'm going to quit the stream, switch over to my live account, and I'll just start going short. No, actually, you know what? It's time for me to go. So, I don't know. I guess we pulled out I guess we did finally pull out one. That's okay. I'm going to try and see if this one will run and see what happens. But, if you know anything about Sumo Logic, let me know. Which brokers are in on the IPO? Maybe I'll switch.
Ace Trades says have a good weekend.
Yep, you too, Ace. I will see you all Monday. And we'll talk more about how we have channel subscriptions on Monday. I'll try and get it so that we can have a $1 channel subscription for you guys so that you can post the stickers. All right. Stay profitable, friends.